Hi, my name is Steve Snapp. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Salesforce for Building Materials. In this episode, we're going to talk about a tool that we built that enables you to see your projects rolled up into a 12 or 24 month rolling basis. Now, the problem that we were trying to solve with this was a lot of our clients may have a large project, let's say it's $1 million project, but they're not going to realize all that revenue in one lump $1 million sum. That project will probably be spread out over a 12 or 24 month period, or 12 months or 13 months or 15 months or whatever. And the idea was, how do you see how your revenue is being realized when you look at your project pipeline? Before we get started, I want to mention that we have 2 links in the video description you should know about. I'll mention these again at the end of the video if you'd like to keep watching, but I wanted you to know that we've included a link to our pricing video where we share the pricing for Salesforce Construction, and we've also included a link to our guided free trial. The guided free trial will allow you to start using Salesforce Construction immediately in your business while providing a step-by-step learning path. So I'm here on my dashboard, and I want to go ahead and drill down into what we call my rolling report. Now, when I click into this, I get a new interface that we built, and this is the essence of the tool that we've built. And what you're seeing on the chart by default is a rolling 12-month section of my project pipeline, but it's only showing me my closed won projects, and it's showing me the monthly totals. So what that means is it's showing me month by month what my number is for that particular month. So in this example, you'll see here that we've got a $417 million total in the month of November 20. And so these numbers are a little bit huge, but you'll see that total right there is that 417. And as I go into December, it goes 417, and it stays 417, but then it starts to climb. March 2021, it jumps up to 883. And as I scroll through this detail chart, you can see those numbers jump. So I'll get into this detail chart here in just a second. But what you're seeing here is the monthly total. Now, if I wanted to see my cumulative, like I want to see, January's total number, and then I want to see February's number, which would have January combined in it, then I would change that to the rolling closed one. And that then gives me kind of a rolling 12. And that basically says, over this year, let's say I'm getting into, September 21, et cetera, October 21, I'm on track for, 73 million or 73, billion or whatever this number ends up being. But the whole point there is that you're seeing the cumulative. So you see January, in February you'd see January plus February, in March you'd see January, February, and March combined. So it just gives you kind of an overview of kind of how you'd look at it from a P&L point of view. So it gives you different capabilities. I'll switch back over to the monthly close for just a second to kind of show kind of why there's a difference. So in this example, I can see where my dips are. Like you can see I'm going along pretty well. I'm in the, in May there, I'm at, 9 billion or whatever it is. And then it drops down a little bit in June. And so the whole point there is, what does that show, and what deals make up those dollar amounts? And what deals or what projects make up those dollar amounts is the next part of what I'm showing now. So as I scroll down, you can see the actual deals and the amount that's being allocated from those deals. And I'll touch on that here in just a second. So as I scroll down here, you can see the deals that make up the 417, and then you can see when it jumps. It's really March is when I have my first big jump, and then you can see I dip down a little bit, or I jump up again from April, and then you can kind of see where the numbers are trending. So the allocation on the individual deal is the next thing that I want to show you. So you'll notice here that I see Federal National on all these months, and that means that every month Federal National is contributing 181 to my overall pipeline, or my rolling 12. So I've talked about this in other videos, but let me just click on one of these projects so you can see kind of how the allocation works. So in this example, what I'm looking at is a deal, that's 6 billion or whatever it is. And when I assign a start date and an end date to the project, and I win the deal, it automatically allocates evenly. It takes the total project amount and essentially divides it by the number of months. and then it allocates those through what we call a monthly project amount. So in this example, you can see that the monthly allocation of that total project amount has now been evenly allocated across the total duration of the project. Now what's neat about this is you can modify that. It automatically calculates an even allocation, but you may decide, or it may be more realistic or contractually built into your deal, that maybe you do 1/3, early on, and then maybe you do a second 1/3, or maybe you're doing a bigger chunk because maybe you're doing it phases or whatever it is. You can edit this list here to then accurately project and demonstrate where your revenue is coming from. So by default, it does an even allocation, but I can go in here and edit these and reallocate. And as you edit them, it will recalculate the additional numbers if you want it to. So again, the point is not to turn you guys into a bunch of data entry guys. The point is to take your $1 million deal or your $1 billion deal or whatever, and then allow you to allocate when the revenue will actually be realized, and or should I say when it should be realized. And then there could be some follow-up and some other actions on whether or not you're actually tracking to that. So that's the big idea of what we call the rolling 12 feature. And once you understand that, you can then begin to see how, where do you have dips or issues, or do you have any risk? Do you have any potential projects that could affect you in a negative way if you weren't able to get them, or whatever that is? It just gives you a lot more visibility, a lot more control over what you're doing with your revenue. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I know your time is very limited. I've included 2 possible next steps in the video description. These include a link to our pricing video where we share the pricing for Salesforce Construction, and I've also included a link to our guided free trial. The guided free trial will allow you to start using Salesforce Construction immediately in your business while providing a step-by-step learning path. The guided free trial also introduces what we call the Guaranteed Quick Start, which is several pre-scheduled calls with our team to help make any light configuration changes like pick lists or reports, and also help you migrate any data that you want in your free trial. If you're not ready for those 2 choices, please spend some time here on our YouTube channel learning more about the specific problems we've solved for Salesforce Construction. Thank you again for some of your time, and we'll see you soon.